one. Oh, look at this!
What the hell is wrong with him? Oh my God, no!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
and that, of course, is just one of the many things that we will be talking about tonight here on the Lonely Marks, as we come to you with a double review of Full Gear and Survivor Series. But I'm not alone. I am joined, as always, by my fellow Lonely Marks. JPO will be joining us very soon. But here with me now, we've got Austin. Austin, how's it going?
It's going good. It's been a good couple of weeks. We've had some really good wrestling pay-per-views. Got another movie added to my best of the year list, which is great. Godzilla -1 is awesome. Go see it if you haven't already. It rules. And yeah, we're gonna talk some good wrestling shows here. So yeah, and you know, something else happened, but in the world of wrestling, but I think it was just kind of a footnote, right? Like, we'll talk about it. We'll briefly mention it, but we'll get to it eventually.
So, and joining us as well, Richie.
Yeah, I'm joining you, and dog's eating probably something she shouldn't, but I don't care at this point. I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we've been spoiled. I think we've been spoiled in 2023, to be honest. Most shows have been at the very worst average. So that's pretty good. Like, it's better than in a bad.
WWE's had good shows. There was AEW shows that we weren't excited for that ended up being really good. You know, like having really good matches. Like ones that, like, I know we did our watch alongs and I ordered, being like, they threw this card together last minute, but like a lot of them over delivered on the matches. So that's been good. Yeah, WWE. I kind of agree with Brian Edwards. It's probably the hottest it's been in like 20 years, and it's pretty cool to watch. And AEW. Say what you will about their storylines and, you know, their wonky booking, but like they tend to over deliver, at least on the pay-per-view. So yeah, it's been pretty good in that aspect.
Yeah.
And I believe what Austin was referring to is obviously the biggest return to have happened in the last 2 weeks. R-Truth and Danhausen.
Yeah.
Obviously that's what we're talking about. No, it was cool to see R-Truth back. It's always fun. I mean, even if he doesn't wrestle, just having him in backstage segments.
In a segment that I almost skipped because I saw it was the obligatory product placement sketch. I went to go hit fast forward on the replay, and then R-Truth showed up, and I was like, "Oh, hey, R-Truth, what's up?"
Also apparently, like, he was in the when Jey Uso does his like the.
Somebody had a fan cam of it or whatever.
Yeah, he's in the crowd.
He's just like, No, that was fun. Yeah.
That dude doesn't age.
He never has and he never will.
No.
Yep.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Danhausen apparently was Orange Cassidy's big Thanksgiving announcement a couple weeks ago, the Dynamite before Thanksgiving. So Danhausen's back. Yeah. Apparently he had Jake Hager's hat this whole time. I don't know.
Which put Jake Hager in a trance for some reason. He got cursed with the hat.
Very, very nice, very evil. But no, and then I figure we'll just kind of go in order here. Since it happened first, we'll talk about it first. We don't have to go match by match since it was a lengthy card, but I mean, obviously there are some definite highlights that we want to mention. And since we all gushed about this match, so we all ended up watching together, and my stream was about 45 seconds ahead, so I had to mute myself at times just because of things happening. For the Texas Death Match, and I know we're like jumping to the towards the end of the card already, but I just had to kick it off with this match because I didn't know if I would have a new favorite for match of the year, but this is a contender. I'm usually not a fan of death matches because I don't think I feel like there's less focus on wrestling, and it's more like, all right, how can we just get the crowd to go ooh or ah? But I think it absolutely worked here. Definitely my match of the night. I don't know how you guys feel, but we'll get into it. but yeah, just from the opening bell, you know, when Page doesn't even wait for the bell, he gets in and lays into him and hits the the buckshot within 45 seconds. Like obviously they're not going to end the match this early, right? And then he doesn't even go for the pin. I'm like, okay, good. And then we get 30 minutes of just nonstop violence and just awesomeness. Swerve coming out on top after, it was like 30 minutes, but it felt like it moved at a quick pace and it didn't lag at all. There were several moments where we were all like, oh my gosh. And maybe for me it was the enjoyment of like seeing you guys react.
Yeah, right. Because we did a watch along stream, with like 7 of us or something like that on like a stream. There was a whole bunch of people, and it was all of us collectively with every escalating thing going like, oh my god, oh Jesus Christ, oh my god, like Jesus, and
he introduced the victim, like, what are they gonna do with that?
Yeah, right.
And then, oh man,
oh god, no. There was a lot of that.
The ring was just it was red. It reminded me, not quite as bad, but it reminded me of that Judgment Day match between Eddie and JBL. Not quite to that level, but just
when Eddie cut himself wrong.
Yeah, we were all wondering, like, why isn't Brian Cage just get involved? And then that kind of plays the finish. And oh my, just what a match. And I felt sorry for the Bucks and the Golden Jets who had to follow this, but match of the night, definitely a match of the year contender. Austin, I know you were a fan of their first match.
That first match was my match of the night for that pay-per-view. I know everybody came out talking about Danielson and Zack Sabre that night, and don't get me wrong, that was an excellent wrestling match. I just thought from a story perspective and one that I got wrapped up in, I thought their match, at the previous pay-per-view was great, and that was my match of the night. So going into this one, I was like, well, that was already my match of the night, so I'm sure they're going to top it and have a really good match. I did not know it would escalate to the levels that we would get, and we would get kind of an all-time new violence setting, trend match, the one that was potentially, you could call it one of the most violent matches ever. Not just because, and it's one of those things, Jacob, you alluded to this in a second. It's like, if you look at your average death match, like let's say you pick up a DVD of your average CZW Tournament of Death, right? Just for an example, right? You pick up one of those, and there's not much storytelling involved. It's literally like, I'm going to hit you with a light tube. You're going to hit me with a light tube. I'm going to get a weed whacker and hit you in the chest with a weed whacker. Who's going to get thrown to the biggest pile of shit at the end of it? Like biggest light tube tower with mouse traps or whatever, at the end. But there's not much storytelling involved, or there's not much of a history between the people. I think what this made it good is they actually, there's actually like they went in true grudge match form where it was an actual grudge match. They didn't jump into this death match and start putting holds on each other, and start doing wrist locks and leg locks and, just whatever. It was like, no, Hangman got in there and immediately hit a buckshot and, not trying to pin the guy, but just like, I'm going to hit you with some shit and I'm going to start punishing you and do some stuff. And when Swerve got the upper hand, he dished it right back. It just kind of escalated from there. Obviously you showed the spot where, Hangman got under him and started, putting his blood in his mouth, which is gross, that's the one spot I think where it was like, did you really need that spot? I guess. I mean, people were talking about it, but I kind of feel like people achieve almost the same reaction when they smear it on their face and do that thing, and it's like, just as bad. But I maybe went a little too far just because, I don't know, you just don't know what people have. So I'm just saying that's gross. But I mean, but
how do you think that conversation goes? I want you to drink my blood. Okay, can you get tested first?
Yeah, can we make sure you don't have hepatitis first? Like for sure. Go get a blood test like the weekend of the show, please. But I mean, each spot but they did some creative stuff. There was a pile driver on the actual barricade, which was like, I don't even know how they pulled that off, but they did. All the staple gun stuff, especially even when Swerve started stapling himself, in the chest. I mean, the barbed wire chair stuff was gross when it got wrapped around his face. It got stuck in his hair. Oh my god! Which wasn't even intentional. He hits him in the back, and the barbed wire just kind of flew over his head and then caught him. I was like, oh my god! Yeah, on the replay we saw it. Yeah, I mean the moonsault with the chair in his hand, yeah, everything. Yeah, but again, they told a story, and they're actually like, went to those grudge match levels that I think it wasn't just moves for the sake of moves, or let's trying to shock the crowd for the sake of shocking the crowd. I don't know what they do if they do a third match. I don't know if you need. I don't think you need to do a third match, but if you do, I don't know how the hell they're going to top that. I don't think you need to. We'll see. But yeah, it was definitely a match of the night. And but we're neglecting one of the best things about this match was Prince Nana's entrance, which was amazing. Yeah. Where he actually had backup dancers for his dance, and it was amazing. That was great. So yeah, from the start, it was awesome.
And then
a babyface entrance for
a guy who did a home invasion.
Yeah, he's getting over as babyface because he's I will say now, like I mean it could change. We'll talk about it. I think MJF put on Twitter that he is injured, so. I mean, anything could happen in the next pay-per-view. But I think if everything's all good, I think Swerve should take the title off MJF in a few months because he's a huge star. He's a star coming out of this. He's a massive star coming out of this. He's amazing. He had Fiend tights on. I don't know if you noticed that. It was an homage to the Fiend. It was on purpose. But yeah, that's kind of. And also when Adam Page did the dead eye to Prince Nana through the table, he did the thing beforehand. He's like trying to distract him or whatever. Yeah, he started doing like this. It was great. Really funny. Yeah, I think Prince Nana's having a good the run of his career as well. That dude's been around for 20 years now. 20, 30 years.
Dude used to wrestle in his first year of Ring of Honor in 2002. He used to be a wrestler. Yeah. And then 2 years later, he's doing the same, basically the manager thing he's been doing since then. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's in the best run of his career. So, yeah. It's just a great violent match. And yeah, like I said, I think sometimes you get sometimes it's Texas Death Match. I think Adam Page once had a match with Lance Archer, and there was no storyline, but it was just because it's Adam Page. He has a Texas Death Match, and I don't know, Lance Archer's a hardcore guy. But at least this had sort of stakes. These two built a blood feud, so that it was necessary for it to be a Texas Death Match. The dude's like a home invader, so you could tell that these two hate each other, and it sort of built and built. So yeah, there was like an emotional investment there, and I think that's what made it sort of an all timer. I think it's going to be really hard for it to not not be my number one when it comes to the year end with this, because it's so good. It's just a spectacle to watch, and I think both came out of it looking sort of bigger stars. Even Page was already a big big star, but
I think Swerve has proven that he's such a great all-around wrestler because he could do the high-flying stuff. He's as athletic as anybody else on that roster. He can get down and wrestle when he needs to get down and wrestle, and he just proved in this one he could do a violent grudge match if he needs to do violence. And he's the most well-balanced guy I think they have on their roster right now. And yeah, I also agree, Richie. But I've said this before. I think 2024 needs to be the year of Swerve, and he needs to carry this company. Yeah, going forward, he needs to be the champion for sure.
Yeah, I think. I would have him win the whatever tournament they got going on. I was
about to say I wouldn't be surprised if they change plans and all right, Swerve, you're going to be holding 3 belts because apparently everything is on the line. In that.
Yeah. If he wins that, and then just maybe cashes it in or something. I don't know what you do, but I think Swerve at least by year's end next year, he'll be champion. And by the end of his career, he'll be multiple time champion. I truly believe. I think by the end of the year, end of his career, hopefully, you never know, but hopefully by the end of his career, I mean, Triple H must know, because Vince didn't. Triple H must know the value of Swerve and why there was a huge mistake to let him go. So if his contract comes up, I'd be throwing a shitload of money at him and be like, "Hey man, we want you as a main event dude." And then so it wouldn't shock me before his career ends if he's a WWE champion. If I'm being honest, so yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
if he ends up going back, he's a main event guy no matter where he goes. I think his stock has just risen throughout the year. So that was definitely my highlight. I think it was like a highlight for all of us. But Austin, what's something?
Yeah, no, I would say one of my better surprises of the night was the three-way women's match was really, really good. And I was surprised how much I got into that one, to where even the crowd, was kind of iffy to start with. But God damn it, by the end, man, they had the crowd rolling with every single one of the finishes. There was a lot of really great false finishes in this one, not just everybody hitting moves on each other, but some really legitimately like times where we thought maybe it could go to Julia or could have gone to Sky Blue. Had a great false finish at one point, this kind of roll up near the end. But yeah, I mean, that was one that really surprised me, because some of these matches, sometimes they don't give them a little, enough time to really kind of work a story, or they give them a slot where nobody cares, and it's really hard. But I think there were several matches on this card where I think by the end, maybe the crowd was not as into it to start with, and then got way into it at the end. I think you could say the same for the tag match with the Bucks and the Golden Jets. Like, they had a rough spot to be in, but they actually earned and got the crowd reaction back near the end, because they were just working their asses off. And I think that was the same for a couple of these matches. And that was definitely a standout.
The MJF Jay White thing too. But yeah, that was
a rough spot as well. But they worked a different style match, where they worked a very old school match with a couple of crazy spots, But again, MJF is really good at working that old style, classic match style. He said before he loves kind of 80s wrestling and, working that very classic kind of heel versus babyface stuff, but mixing in a few crazy moves as well, as he did. And I'm sure we'll talk about that. But yeah, I think the women's match was a nice surprise. At least the three-way one. Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley was great. That one was, again, these two guys have proven they have amazing chemistry in the ring. It's like they almost do these big man, little man matches where Jon Moxley's not that big of a guy, but compared to Orange Cassidy, kind of plays it like that. But it works because he's the more violent, brutal guy. But Orange has proven that he's a hell of a talent. And even the trios match with Sting's team and Christian's team was a lot of fun and really entertaining overall. Again, I think each match had a different angle to it, as far as a different style. Everything was different enough to stand out. The ladder match was like fun, but not overly brutal or overly crazy, to where it took away from anything else on the card. A couple of good crazy spots, just some fun, steady action. But yeah, a really solid card overall.
Yeah, and then another thing I'd probably bring up is I think it's really cool to see that, like, finally, like, Toni Storm develop as a character. Her character's really getting over. I think she's really good at playing that sort of the golden era, like Marilyn Monroe, like, the Marilyn Monroe thing. Like, she's really, she's been really entertaining. And I think, I didn't know she had this much charisma, but yeah, like, she's been really fun. She's been great. So I'm glad, like, she's getting this run. But yeah, so I think that was good. I think up and down, it was like, we'll get to a big the only negative is we'll get to it. But I think up and down, it was really solid. I think the women. I think, speaking of like the 3 women's match, I think Julia Hart's, like, if we do the year-end awards, I think should be up there for me as like the most improved. Like, she's actually got quite good in it. So I'm glad to see her get the belt here and see what she does. See what her runs look like. But yeah, even every match was good. Just a bit maybe.
We'll talk about the storytelling in the main event with the storytelling with MJF and Adam Cole, which was not great. Yeah, and it's a shame, because had they just done something even as simple as what they did on Survivor Series with Randy Orton, like, as kind of silly as it is, if you kept it simple like that, like, it would have just been better, because it would have just been, it's something we've seen 100 times, but at least it wouldn't be stupid. I just think it was overly complicated to be like, and we all had the same reaction on the stream when it was like, they did the injury angle, which is fine, for them to like jump MJF, and you could do a whole like, will he make it to the main event? That's perfectly fine. We've seen that a bunch of times. But to do this whole overly convoluted thing where it's Adam Cole, the more injured guy, is going to take
the legitimately injured guy,
a dude who's literally on crutches and in a walking boot, is going to take your place, and then we're going to have MJF steal an ambulance to come back to show up for the main event. Why couldn't you just keep it simple of the Guns do their thing, injure, and then, he's in the back with the trainers. Maybe they want him to go to the hospital, but he doesn't want to go to the hospital. Maybe Adam Cole's telling him to go to the hospital. He still doesn't want to go. Maybe they even go as far as you can do the classic thing of Jay White comes out for the match. They play MJF's music. He doesn't come out, and Jay White's, kind of celebrating, whatever. They give him another chance to play the music again. He doesn't come out. He calls Tony Schiavone into the ring. Hey, I have a clause in my contract that if MJF doesn't show up for this match, I win by forfeit and I win the title. So put the title on me and declare the winner. And you can have him about to do it. You can have Justin Roberts go, and your new AEW champion, and then hit his music again and he finally comes out. It's old school stuff. It's very classic stuff, but the crowd gets behind it, But you can be very, very simple that you don't have to be as overly convoluted as it did. And I feel like that took away from how good the match was overall was this silly storyline.
Yeah, because
you're telling me that he's not going to book Adam Cole to defend his title, but he'll book him to defend MJF
somebody else's title.
That does not make sense.
But also, it makes me come up like an idiot. Like, hey, we can't. MJF can't. We're not allowing you to wrestle, but we'll allow this guy on crutches to wrestle for you.
Yeah.
What? Who's legitimately injured? Doesn't make sense. But yeah, it took away from the match. It was a bit overlong booking. Maybe too many run-ins during the match, to be honest. But that's but like the match itself was good. Like we got to talk about. Okay, there was one point in the match where MJ was sitting up Jay White on the table, and unfortunately, as happens sometimes, the table gives way before he does a spot. Bit of a bodge. So instead of coming up with something different, MJF just goes fuck it and jumps off, and then it does the elbow drop anyway, and he's got no protection.
And it wasn't an elbow drop, we should say, where he landed feet first and then kind of dropped the elbow. No, he just fully landed on his side and dropped the elbow on the floor.
I was like, holy shit!
Yeah. Screw it, I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah.
Holy hell! It's mental. And then again, and then the match picks back up and says, it's pretty sad. It's getting pace, and then I don't know where. Literally out of nowhere, when MJF does an RKO cutter from the outside, you're like, what the fuck? Holy shit.
He jumped over the top rope to Jay White was standing on the apron and then cuttered him on the floor. Yeah, it was nuts. Out of nowhere.
Hell. My God.
As someone who was not a fan of MJF, and I went on record, I thought his in-ring work was fine. I thought his promo work was fine. I thought he was just yelling most of the time. I don't know. Babyface MJF is kind of winning me over, and I don't know. I don't know if it's just his teaming with Adam Cole. I mean, he's going to turn eventually, and I love that we always say that. And it's like, all right, here's the turn.
I think Adam Cole's turning. I think Adam Cole's turning on him.
Which would be a bigger swerve, I think. Because I think everybody expects MJF to, but I think MJF's doing a good job of it, getting the babyface character over, and say what you want about how we got to the match. I think that once the match picked up, it was really good. But those first few minutes, I was like, oh, this doesn't look good.
I mean, you even could have done the injury angle before right before the match. You could have, there's several ways you could have done it. You could have even had MJF come out, make his full entrance, and as he's coming down the entranceway, before he gets in the ring, the Guns attack him, hit him with the chair, Cole's out there with him, and everybody's trying to say, no, let's go get you checked out, whatever. And he's like, no, I got to defend my title. And you just go right into the match from there and have Jay White work on the leg. There's different ways you could have done the exact same angle, and hit all the same story beats for the match. And without just overly convoluting it for no reason whatsoever. So it was just silly.
Well, maybe to tie into the devil thing that they're doing, maybe the devil takes out MJ. I don't know, it's backstage, and then you do the thing where I don't know.
And you still tease it some more, and then he runs away, and we still don't find out. But you add to that storyline. I don't know, something. You got just any one of those scenarios would have been better than what they actually did. It was mass ridicule. Even the biggest AEW shills could not hide the fact that was really, really stupid. It was really stupid. It was silly.
Overall, I think, and now it looks like MJF is going to be defending against Samoa Joe again. That should be interesting, because I usually be like, MJF's too hot, but now he's injured, so could go to Joe. We'll see what happens.
What's his actual injury, Richie? Did you
He
read
tore
what he said?
he tore his labrum, the
What's
shoulder.
that?
Like when he got
Oh, okay.
he tore it in the match where he when he took the Uranagi off the top rope or whatever from Jay
Oh,
White.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, it's funny. I keep betting against MJF to defend the title, and he keeps winning the title. It's like the opposite of Roman Reigns, where I always bet on Roman to win, and he always wins. You know, like it's like the exact. I keep thinking they're going to drop it just to get the title off of him, or at least one of the two, or something. Which I still think he should have dropped the tag titles. So, but whatever. That's a whole other issue.
Yeah, I think most of us picked the Guns, except for
Well, he's got to but then I guess then Samoa had Samoa Joe, but then I guess I don't know what the plan is with the Ring of Tag titles, but anyway, I thought it was funny. Like obviously, initially they did that thing where Jay White came out and was like, okay, this match is cancelled. But Tony Schiavone called out Jay White, and Jay White they played the wrong music, and Jay White came out to the Guns song, the Guns music, and he had to go. Yeah, he had to address it. It was fun. That was funny. It's a bit of a botch there, but something cool. But overall, that was it was very convoluted, booking a very a la maybe Vince's WWE in a sense, but but beyond that, it was a good match. But
I almost felt like I don't know if this is true or not, that the Randy Orton Survivor Series stuff was almost a jab at AEW, going like, hey, you can do like the will the guy show up for the main event thing, but just say like he may or may not show up.
Yeah,
just keep it very simple, like we all know he is because it's predictable, but like I almost felt like that was a jab of like, hey, we can do this way easier, guys. Just say we called him and he said he's going to be there. He just hasn't showed up to the building yet. Like it's pretty simple. It's like it doesn't have to be. This is wrestling. Like keep it simple. Wrestling's always better when it's simple. Simple feuds, simple grudges. Simple storytelling. It doesn't have to be a puzzle. It just felt like something Vince Russo would do. Like honestly, oh no, what if we have the guy with the crutches be the guy who's going to defend the title, and he almost does, and then the other guy comes out with an ambulance and drives an ambulance, steals one, and then beats up a bunch of cops on the way. Like what the fuck are we doing, Russo?
If it was Vince Russo, the guy with the crutches would win the title.
Right. Yeah.
Adam Cole would be champion right now. One thing I don't know if any of us mentioned, but the tag team ladder match, Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
The only one that got predictions right in that one is you.
I was, and we predicted this before we knew it was a ladder match, and I had said, well, if I had known it was a ladder match, I probably would have changed my prediction.
Right.
But now it worked out. And then Julia, I just want to touch on this. I thought it was funny. I think the day after Monday or something, AEW on their YouTube channel uploaded a video highlighting Julia Hart's win, but they called it "The House Always Wins." And I just wanted to point back to Full Gear. The house does not always win because Julia Hart's the only one that won.
Yeah.
Buddy Matthews lost to Claudio on the pre-show.
The house lost twice. In fact, the house lost more money than they won. So
they lose more than they won. So I was like,
unless we're talking about Swerve's house. Swerve won. Swerve's house.
Swerve's house always wins. Swerve is in the Continental Classic. I believe he's 2-0 so far. I need to watch. I didn't get to watch it last night, but I'm hoping the match with Jay White was a banger because those two that just screams money. That could have been a championship match down the road if AEW just pulled the trigger, but they didn't.
I mean, the ladder match had some gnarly spots on it too, like Brody King doing his finisher on the that was propped up. I'm maybe I don't know if they'll ever do this, but I'm looking for Brody King to be like maybe break out as give that guy a big push. I love Brody King a lot.
He could have some big meaty matches with some of the other guys on that card for sure. Or on that roster. Yeah, he could have some nice meat matches with Samoa Joe or Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs. I'd like to see some of those guys kind of go at it, and I think they could have some fun because I think Brody King's really charismatic. People like him. The barking thing, is getting over all that, so it's good stuff.
And I did like when him and Big Bill or Cass was going
Kind of squared off, yeah.
They'll chanting meat.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Meat for it.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind just a normal tag match between Starks and Bill, and then Black and King. I think sure it's heel versus heel, but who cares nowadays?
I feel like Black and King are kind of like, I feel like they're tweeners in a way. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're heel or face?
Yes.
I feel like we're going to be asking that about Swerve here real soon.
Yeah. Swerve or heel or face? Yes.
Yeah.
He's the home invader with the dancing manager.
Yeah. Look,
All
I
right.
love the home invader.
Sure. Yeah.
That scares a baby.
That cuts promos on babies. Yeah.
But yeah, not much to really knock down on the show. I mean, some questionable booking, but I think as far as in ring, I think every match delivered.
When the worst match was probably the Tony Storm match, and even that was like moderately entertaining, then you still got a pretty good
because of the character work by Tony.
Yeah, at least the character work was still good, and it was a good moment for her. Like, yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to complain about on the show, like other than some of the wonky storytelling, but other than that, like everything in the ring was like at least solid to amazing. So yeah, really good.
Yeah. So Austin, what are you giving this?
This one was pretty goddamn good. I think it would have been almost a perfect pay-per-view if they had not done all the stupid shit with the Adam Cole MJF thing, like it probably would have been maybe the best pay-per-view of the year. Like almost like I still think Forbidden Door is probably my number one of the year as far as AEW pay-per-views, because it had the Kenny Omega, like Will Ospreay stuff, and then a whole bunch of other really good stuff. It's still a solid like 9 out of 10. Like it's a pretty damn fine show, and it would have been like a 9.5 or something without, like I said, without the convoluted stuff at the end. Yeah. Actually,
we should probably point out too that the one thing on the show is like that was a bit of a letdown, just because his stuff was always let down. The Tony Khan's announcements. I mean, we sort of figured. I mean, like I think Jacob also got that right with Will Ospreay, but it's like I kind of like was like I love Will Ospreay. I'm glad he's part of the company. But
he's kind of been part of the company most of the year anyway. So
surprise. It would have been more of a surprise. I mean, like, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, is Will Ospreay probably? I don't know. It would have been like a bigger shock if it was someone who's a free agent. I don't know. Just like like your I don't know.
I'm also wondering if it was like a shot to like WWE. It's like, hey, I know you guys were talking to him, but look who we got.
Yeah, but then they went. I don't know. Yeah, so it's like I don't know. I mean, not that Dolph Ziggler's bigger salary, but like, at least that would be a surprise, somewhat. I don't know. Just that there are people, there are ones out there. Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks would have been a bit surprised, but and then for him to come out and be like, yeah, I've signed, but also can't wrestle until Revolution.
So why not just announce it before Revolution?
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
And he's already talking about Wembley, which isn't going to happen until like August.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he's main eventing that fucking show. That's pretty obvious.
Probably. Hey, you know what would be a good match? Swerve versus Will Ospreay. That'd be a hell of a match for the title.
For the title. Why not?
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a match for the title at Wembley, wouldn't it be? They'd put on a fucking banger. I can almost guarantee you that.
You were going to say Omega Ospreay 3.
They could do that match as well.
We got to get that one.
I think that one's going to happen in Japan, though. I think.
Forbidden Door. Oh, yeah, that could happen. They could have it Japan or Forbidden Door next year or whatever.
Yeah.
Wherever it happens, it just needs to happen.
Yeah, right. It could happen at Wembley, and they could wait to do it in front of the 80,000 people or whatever. So it's possible. But I'm just saying, Swerve and Ospreay could have a hell of a match.
Swerve and Ospreay is
that'd be a hell of a match.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as like what I'd rate it, I'd probably give it a 9 as well. I think, like pretty much I didn't, my identical to Pez. I think, the convoluted booking at the end sort of brings it down. But had that not been the case, it would have been a 10 because every match was at the very least good. Good to excellent. So there was no
dull, like, what am I trying to say? What is Mel's dud? There's no duds on the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that usually there's at least, even some of the other pay-per-views have had a dud or two, where that just weren't interesting. But yeah, this one didn't have any of that, so that's pretty damn good. Yeah, we've been pretty spoiled with most of these pay-per-views.
What'd you give it?
I'm there too. I think I'm at a 9. And speaking of Dave Meltzer.
Oh, we got to start rating. He reluctantly gave Swerve and Ospreay 5 stars. Reluctantly is what he said, because it's like you don't want to almost celebrate that kind of violence, but you have to admit the fact that it was a masterpiece of violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, his match ratings have actually come out for full year, and Swerve and Hangman 5 stars. Golden Jets and Young Bucks were 4 1/4. Same with the main event, 4 1/4. Orange Cassidy and Moxley was also 4, and then the lowest one was Tony Storm and Cheetah at 2 1/4. But yeah, everything else. The ladder match got 4 3/4, which was, I think, kind of surprising. Whoever wrote this messed up because they just have Julia Hart versus Chris Statlander, but no. Sky Blue also in that. Yeah, I gave that a 3.5. And yeah, so solid show all around. I'm at a 9 as well. When we do our end of the year thing, this I don't know. This could be a heavy contender for show of the year. We'll see. But
so could the next show that we're reviewing. To be honest.
Yeah, we go from a 12-match card to a 5-match card.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a show that was, even with all the stuff in between the matches, I went to pull the replay up. I was like, 2 hours and 40 minutes. I was like, wow, did we actually get an under 3-hour WWE show for once? Wow. Yeah. And it actually felt like a pretty quick show. I was like, this is refreshing to not have pull up the replay and have it be 3 hours and 40 minutes. I was like, oh, this is nice.
Right.
Not bad.
Right. And I think the show, I'm surprised to say, didn't go the way we all thought it would go, especially for this opening match. They opened with Women's War Games, which I think we all guessed. You open, if there's 2 War Games matches announced, you open with one, you end with one. They've always done. I think they've kind of always done it that way with all these gimmicks, like Elimination Chamber. You'd open with one, end with one. Hell in a Cell, same thing.
They don't always do it with the Rumbles, though, right? Because the Women's Rumble will be like the second or third match one time. And then it was like the men's. Or didn't they end with the women's one time too?
The very first one they ended with the women's.
I think they only ended with the women's one, the first one, just so that they could end with Ronda Rousey pointing at the side.
Yeah, but it was also the first,
Yeah, I know it's the first thing, but yeah, I prefer if they bookended it at the start and ended with the Royal Rumbles, but having it in the middle of the card's a bit weird.
Start with the women's and still give them their time, and then do a couple matches and then end with the men's. I think that's a perfect way to do that card. That's
especially now because Roman's champion, so they always end with Roman.
Yeah.
They opened with the men's this year.
It's not even guaranteed Roman's going to have a fucking match, though. At least even this one, since he just doesn't defend his title ever. So yeah, I mean, it's like it's not even guaranteed. He said, this was one of the big 4, and he didn't defend his title on one of the big 4. So who knows what it is at this point?
Yeah.
Right. So, and they don't even have another show until the Rumble. So when's the next time he's even going to defend the title?
Who knows? Maybe he'll defend it at the Rumble, in a singles match. I don't know. It's not even guaranteed at this point. Who knows?
Yeah.
But women's War Games. What are you guys' thoughts on the opener here, Richie?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid, pretty solid match. It was really pretty good. If I had a negative, and I don't want to harp on her because I think she's good. I think overall she's a decent worker, and I think she's gets a lot of stripe, and she's a pretty cool person. But I feel like Shotzi's going to kill herself one day. There was one point where it's like she go at the start of the match, she goes for a suicide dive, lands right in her head, right in there, and then there was a couple other missed spots that the camera quickly panned away from. It was really good. I think the spot of the match is when EO gets on the cage and then puts the trash can on it and then jumps off. That was and then yeah.
I would have felt much better about that spot if she was like closer to where she could hold on before she jumped. Because oh my goodness, I was a little worried. I was like, you can't.
Yeah, because if she had slipped and fallen backwards, she might have died. That could have been a disaster.
Yeah, ending the show early.
Yeah. But yeah, and then but it was a solid match. So there was a couple of, like, creative spots that looked a bit silly but kind of fun at the same time. But I think was it Kyrie and was it Kyrie? I'm gonna say it was Kyrie and I'll say it was probably I think it was Asuka that they tied Bianca and Becky back to back with the chain, but looked really looked silly, but it was fun. Yeah, maybe like the finish is a bit wonky because it looked like it was. I feel like the manhandle slam to the table didn't look as good as it should have been because it looked more like a push. I think it didn't look more like at the rock bottom as it should. Like I think maybe Becky lost her grip, but I think the fact that Bayley got pinned is probably leading somewhere. I think Bayley's getting kicked out of the group. So yeah, I think even though I think Bayley works better as a heel, I think her heel work's been amazing. And I don't really want it. I mean, I know people love the hugger gimmick. I didn't mind it too, but I think I've liked it better now. I could see her going back there at some point. I could see, and considering they announced like a damage control segment on SmackDown,
feels like they're gonna all just like gang up on her and turn on her.
Yeah, I could see them ousting her.
Yeah.
So yeah, because she's got she was the one that decided to opted to start the match, and she was the one that ate the pin. So yeah, so really solid opener.
And when one of them, I get their names mixed up, so pardon me, but I just don't follow as closely as everybody else. One of them was like on Bayley's team, was very slow to get to the ring to help her out. As well, like on their way to the ring, like taking their time.
Yeah. I get.
Was it Kyrie? Kyrie was very slow to get to the ring.
There's like a storyline there where like the last time Kyrie was in the ring before she left WWE was because the way they wrote her off is that Bayley like beat the shit out of her. So obviously you wouldn't like. You wouldn't team up with somebody long term who did that, so they're gonna. I think like Kyrie took a time. I think Kyrie's charisma is pretty underrated. Like obviously she she doesn't talk to Mike that much, but her facials and expressions and the way she does stuff and the way she swans it down in the ring, she's very entertaining. Mm-hmm. I think they're all pretty entertaining. But yeah, I think it was a good match. It was a really solid opener.
Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, a solid War Games match. I did find the ongoing crowd storyline of them booing every weapon that wasn't a table getting pulled out from under the ring was funny. Eventually, it got to the point where they pull out a kendo stick, boo, pull out a chair, boo, pull out a chain, boo, finally pull out a table, yay!
I feel like fans have more of a hard on for tables than when the Dudley Boys were in their prime.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's really weird, like how that is. It's just like, what's your thing with tables? Like, okay, I mean, it's fine, but yeah. But then again, you got the table spot, and like Richie, like you said, it was kind of underwhelming table spot for what it ended. But all right, I think you could have done something a little bit bigger to end the match. But yeah, I think it was also I think I don't know. I just feel like Damage Control winning would have made more sense leading into like they could have won, but maybe not because of Bayley or something, or just
anyone else gets
they could have got this pin and been like, see, we did it without you, or I don't know. There's something I guess they'll explain a little bit of it, but yeah, I just thought it was a little underwhelming when Becky and Charlotte's team or whoever just like won. I don't know, felt it was a little underwhelming. But other than that, I mean, it was solid. Like I said, a little sloppy in the first half, with some of the spots here and there. Kind of felt a little chaotic, not a whole lot of coherence to everything, but it came together at the end. Yeah, the trash can spot was nutty. Charlotte doing a moonsault off the top was good, and it was solid overall. Not like the best War Games match, anything by a long shot, but not a bad way to get the show going for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was I just thought too, just because Kyrie just came back. Thought, they'll give her a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Kyrie get the pin, or
Or do
Asuka.
the insane elbow off the.
Well, and for me also, when you look back on the show, you had the babyface team go over in the main event. You could have had the heel team go over in this match, and I think it would have been okay. You know what I mean? Like even just booking wise, looking at the show, you could have had the heel team go over here, and it would have been fine because it's just the beginning of the show. I just think you could have done that, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. You know, like it was weird to have both the babyface teams go over in both matches.
Right, and I think it could have made Damage Control look stronger because I'm not calling it a new faction because obviously Dakota, Bailey, and Io have been together for a while, but now with the addition of Kairi Sane and Asuka, they go in not having the advantage and then they still come out on top. You know. No thanks to Bailey if that's where they're going. But
well, you could have played with that in the match too, having them be the stronger unit because you had the stuff with Becky and Charlotte having their history, and you could have teased a little bit of back and forth of them not getting along, but then they finally hug over, which is all fine. They could have maybe finally embraced, but then they turn around and get leveled, and Damage Control could have gone over, or they could have made a mistake. They could have made a mistake and play into Damage Control being more of the unit, the faction that works together, and looks out for each other or something. I don't know. There's a way you could have played it. I think that would have been better for the long-term storytelling, maybe.
Right. And I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but to me, Shotzi kind of felt like the odd one out. It's like, all right, who else do we have that's available? Hey,
she didn't do much in the match, and then what she did, she there's a couple moves she obviously connected all right, but then some that they did they quickly panned away from because she didn't do her, or she fell on her head. But one of the first moves she did, she fell on her head.
Yeah, so we don't have anyone else. I mean, we already brought Becky Lynch over from Raw. Why not bring somebody else over from Raw? I don't know.
It seems like Piper Niven and Chelsea Green are in the back. Why not? I don't know. But you need a baby face. So.
What's Mia Yim up to? Is she injured or is she just not?
I don't know. She's great. Bring her in. There's so many people, Xia Li. I don't know. They're doing stuff with her lately.
Right.
I don't know.
Zelina Vega, give her something to do in ring. I don't know. Or just anyone. Or just don't let Shotzi get on the mic.
Or pull up someone from NXT.
Just don't let Shotzi get on the mic, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
But no. So I'm very curious, Austin, to hear your thoughts on the next match because I believe you wanted Gunther to just.
Dude, why was this like a back and forth match?
I don't know.
I don't understand this. I felt this was way we should say we're talking about Gunther versus the Miz. Why was this? First of all, why is Miz a babyface?
Miz,
why?
If Miz is going to be a babyface, he should at least change his attire because he comes out in the same attire. I'm like, you look like a guy I want to punch. You're wearing the headband. You still got the stupid cape. You're still doing the pirouette. Still got the stupid sunglasses. Like you haven't really changed your character at all. You're just going after the heels.
Yeah, I don't understand that angle of it. So that made the match weird because he's playing like underdog babyface, and it's just weird. And he's getting like a pretty decent amount of offense on Gunther, which I just didn't agree with. I thought this match should have been like a buildup of like Miz is going to bring back his older self, and he's gonna do it. But then he runs into this brick wall, and Gunther beats the fuck out of him, and proves that maybe you were something 10 years ago, Miz, but like I'm the top dog right now, and I'm the man, and there's a reason why I've been Intercontinental Champion for a year, and I've destroyed everybody I've faced or whatever. Like I just think that should have been the story of the match, and then maybe you could play in the future if you want to go with the Miz babyface angle, right? Like have him build himself back up where he hyped himself as this guy who used to headline WrestleMania and was a champion at some point and was the Triple Crown guy, but maybe he doesn't have it anymore because he faced the guy that is on the top of the chain right now, and the dude and then he has to build himself back up, and you could build that something like that and really get the people behind it. The storytelling of this match came out of nowhere, and it should have absolutely been an extended squash match with him beating the ever-loving shit out of the Miz. And like, I don't agree with this back and forth thing. I think it made the match weird. I thought the match, was not what it could have been. It was just strange all around. So yeah, I don't know. This match was not what I wanted it to be, like, at all.
Gunther did have some nice things to say about the Miz on the press conference. It makes me wonder, is like, because some people during the press conference will stay in character, and then you got people like Gunther who I feel like totally are just.
Yeah, that's why I think press conference in wrestling is weird.
Yeah, so I don't know if he was like genuinely like just being himself, like Miz, he proved that he belongs, and we had a really good match. But if we saw him on Raw, he would say, "Get out of my ring! You're not worthy. Get out of my ring!" Blah blah blah. So yeah, it's weird.
Because I thought maybe the booking that Amy Pierce said would go along with what the promos he cut on, because he was cutting scathing promos Raw, and like that they were going along the lines of what some people perceive him. Where it's like he literally said, and I thought this was scathing. I honestly thought this was. I mean, I think he could get away with it because not many people think like this, but it was almost like a Benoit reference, because I know Benoit didn't like Miz, at least at first, where he's like, look, you when you grew up, you got bullied because you liked you like wrestling, and then when you got to WWE, you got bullied by other wrestlers because you don't belong in this business. And I was like, oh shit, and there's a story where people like Benoit kicked him out of the locker room for being disrespectful, so I just thought that was like a very scathing sort of critique of like his the way he came up, and his even wrestling style compared to Gunther. So, and you could follow up that storyline with how Gunther being validated by kicking the shit out of him, and then ultimately maybe Miz building himself back up. But like also it's like, I don't know, okay, Miz being a babyface, whatever, but it's like he was getting offense, but like for the most part his offense was cheating.
The baby face that is constantly cheating. Yeah, that's the baby face I want to root for. That has to cheat to win and pull turnbuckle pads off and kick dudes directly in the balls to try to win. Okay, cool. Well, you pulled out you're cheating and you still didn't win, so you look like even more of a geek. So, you come out looking worse than what you look like going in.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I thought this should have been more one-sided than it. It'd be interesting because I know like the Miz won that fatal four-way on accident because Ricochet got knocked loopy, and that was meant to be a double pin. I am wondering whether, because it was obviously Ivar and Miz in the next week. I'm wondering if it would have been interesting if Ivar was meant to win that match initially, or maybe Ivar. I don't know. It was Miz meant to win that.
I could buy Ivar going toe to toe with Gunther because he's a fucking monster, at least, or Bronson, or even Ricochet to a degree because he's a athletic dude.
The thing is about that four-way is that like out of all the four, Miz is one who I wanted to see last.
Yeah, right. Either one of the other three, I would have been. Yeah.
Speaking of Bronson Reed and Ivar, if you haven't checked it out, they had a match on Raw this week. That was great. Ended in a double count out because of course it did. And it ends with them brawling in the crowd, and Bronson Reed uses one of the security and uses him like a javelin and just throws him at Ivar, knocks Ivar down. And then the camera's on Bronson Reed, and all of a sudden we pan, and Ivar is on like this whatever, and just like completely jumps onto Bronson Reed and like five of the security guys and knocks him down. It was awesome.
They must be building up Bronson Reed for like him and Gunther at like a big show, right? Like at Royal Rumble or something. They must be doing something like that because they've been teasing that match for ages. I know they had like the match, but they been teasing like something to do with that for ages. So,
well, I'm hoping they wait till like WrestleMania or something, because I was just looking it up. Gunther, who was at 537 days in his reign, is 83 days away from being like the longest reigning champ ever. Like that's combined days. Pedro Morales is at 619.
They keep they've already said that he's the longest reigning, but I guess that they're just exaggerating because.
Well, no, the longest reign, like single reign.
Okay.
This would be like overall, like all the combined reigns.
They said something in this match about Chris Jericho and his 9 reigns did not hold the title as long as Gunther's held it for this one reign.
Yeah, that's
crazy. No, Chris Jericho is 18th. 311 recognized by WWE.
Because they said if Miz beat Gunther, he'd be tied at 9 for
for Intercontinental reigns.
It is cool because in Vince's WWE, they wouldn't have been allowed to mention Chris Jericho because he's working for the other company.
Yeah.
But they mentioned a couple of people who were working at other companies on the show, so that was kind of cool.
But it's like, who cares? They're all wrestling fans, and if they used to work for the company, and Chris Jericho's a part of WWE history just like anybody else. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like anybody's gonna go, "Ooh, they mentioned Chris Jericho." Well, yeah, he was a part of the company for a very long time.
The dude's going to be a WWE Hall of Famer one day.
So once he retires from AEW, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame right afterwards. So it's fine. It's not like they're going to penalize him for it. Yeah.
It's funny though that they pick and choose because WWE uploaded. I think it was some sort of countdown for Survivor Series, and you would think they would choose Roman Reigns' first championship win as one of the moments. But instead, because it was against Dean Ambrose, they went with Sheamus's cash-in instead as one of the moments. So it's like, why are we picking and choosing? Who cares if they left and went to another company? Like, obviously, we remember.
Yeah, and look, I would say, I mean, you never know. He could come back one day. I would have said never, but we'll get to that. I don't think there's never anymore.
Never say never anymore.
Never say never, no.
If you look at the superstar list on WWE.com, you might ask yourself, what year is this?
Oh yeah, like it's
people are back. Carlito's back.
Ruthless aggressions.
Cody Rhodes is here.
Randy Orton's making a big return. John Cena's around. Still kind of, and it's like The Rock might come back for WrestleMania. You're like, what year is this?
John Cena was back for a while.
Yeah.
Stratus was in the.
Stratus was wrestling. The people like that, there's I don't know. It's funny.
Rey Mysterio was United States champion for a minute.
Apparently tomorrow we're supposed to find out who Logan Paul's first challenger could be.
No, I'm sure he'll have a match at the Royal Rumble. He'll probably have a singles match.
Well, I mean, that makes me wonder because the Royal Rumble's not till the end of not to get off track too much here, but that makes me wonder because Royal Rumble's not till the end of January. So is he finally going to have a TV match?
He could have a TV match, yeah.
I agree with you guys too. I thought this should have been a little bit shorter than it was, a little more one-sided. But is what it is. I think this next match's booking is also kind of questionable. We got Santos Escobar defeating Dragon Lee. But before I say it's questionable, I didn't look into it. Richie, maybe is Carlito dealing with an injury of some sort, or is he?
Don't know. I don't know why.
Why? If you're going to sub out somebody, why wasn't this Santos versus Carlito? Yeah, like that would have been.
I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no respect to Dragon Lee, he's amazing, but like, yeah, I don't know what. Like, Carlito's a more established dude. They really got into. I mean, yeah. But not that they did get into Dragon Lee in this match eventually, but like, yeah, because he's great. But you would think. I don't know why. Like, it was built as like his first singles match in ages. Like on pay per view, and then they don't do it. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's dealing with an injury. I don't know why they. Yeah, maybe they just want to shoehorn like Dragon Lee into the storyline, but you can do that without having him replace them. It just sort of like it was like, hey, and I don't know. I'm not 100% sure here, but they're really building up like Santos as like just people here. It'd be cool if, just because I want one. Maybe if there is like if I had to have one knock on WWE, and it's a big knock on WWE for ages, but hopefully, I have more optimism that this will happen because they do have people who are becoming like bigger stars like your LA Knight and people like that. But yeah, they haven't really built like new big stars for a while. But I do hope like maybe like hypothetically like next year, right? If like Cody beats Roman, but then you have like certain feuds, like maybe like short feuds on B shows where like Cody defends against people like Santos Escobar. Because I don't know if Santos Escobar is ready to be like a champion yet necessarily, but like I think he could be like you could have a good feud being a contender. Because I thought this match was pretty good. But yeah, it is convoluted. Yeah, I don't know why Carlito wasn't this match.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense because I think Carlito, like, sure, he's returned, but he's also at the point in his career where he can return and take losses, and it's okay. Dragon Lee is somebody who's sort of new to the WWE audience, and his first major, singles match on the pay-per-view, he's the replacement, and he's gonna lose. Because I think we all kind of figured Santos Escobar was gonna win this match. I think he kind of due for a push, and I think he could be a good heel, kind of a mid to upper card heel. So yeah, there's just the booking. I mean, I figured the match was going to be good, given who was involved.
Set aside all of that, the match was awesome.
Yeah.
Like
getting there, I was like, oh.
The match itself in a vacuum, like if you just watch this match with no context of like the storyline, like in a vacuum, this match was great.
Oh yeah,
they were killing it. Like it was it just didn't make a whole lot of sense, like from a storyline perspective.
Like it was one of those matches where, like we talked about on the AEW, where it's like, okay, they weren't really the crowd weren't into it like in the first couple of minutes, and then they really got into it. And they were chanting Dragon Lee's name, like, oh hell, Dragon Lee's getting over because he's great, and he's got great chemistry with Santos, who I'm sure they've wrestled each other thousands of times in Mexico, and on the knee. I don't know. I can't remember if they were both in Lucha Underground together, but but they were great, and it was great. The finish sort of came out of nowhere, but it was fun. Like he hits like a, what did Corey guys call it? Like a south of the border destroyer, and which is just a Canadian destroyer. And then like his move, which is like the sort of like what the Chris Sabin's move, so the
kind of like the future shock or cradle shock,
so I don't know, but that was really good, and it was I think they're putting that they were. I didn't know how the crowd would react because Dragon Lee's not established in WWE yet, and especially not on the main roster. He was brought up pretty quickly from NXT, but I think that was part of the deal because he was already a name, and I think it's part of his contract. So I was like, I wonder how he's going to do. He got really over. I think he got over in this match, but I probably would have, if you could, unless he's injured, I would have stuck with Carlito. But still, we got a really good match out of it. So,
Right, I'm not upset at the match. It's just the booking was kind of
again, the booking was complicated and weird.
Up next, we had Rhea Ripley finally defending her championship on a major show, going up against Zoe Stark, who Richie really thought was going to be your next women.
I still think she is, just not now, obviously.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down. But I think it really needs to be built up where Rhea, like we really feel like Rhea's in trouble. I don't think we're quite there yet. But then again, I don't think they've booked her reign all that well. Anyway, since she won it,
it's all just been like one random challenger after another, or challengers.
I
feel really felt like her reign's been in trouble.
I feel like Rhea has sort of been like her story has just been entangled with the Judgment Day, and so they sometimes forget she's women's champion. So it's like, hey, she's involved in the cash, always involved in the potential cash in with Damian Priest. She's involved in getting Drew McIntyre onto the Judgment Day side. And it's like, cool. Like maybe have like a really, maybe have like a credible, build up a huge credible threat in the women's division for Rhea. Like, I mean, you could, I don't know if they usually do do it with someone who's like can match up with, and Triple H does this too, but they usually do it with someone who can match up the size and strength. So I thought maybe they'd do it with Raquel, but they kind of didn't. Didn't do it that well. And then I thought yeah, even though like Zoe's smaller, she's sort of tough. I thought, oh, maybe they'll do that with her. But yeah, they built this up like a couple of weeks out from the actual show, and so yeah, it's like yeah, I'm like, I wanted, I think I picked Zoe Stark to be different, but I was just like, probably not gonna. But yeah, and I don't think like Zoe Stark's is like fully like yeah. I guess it's weird like I guess she's babyface, but like because she had, you know, you got sick of Trish, but like it hasn't really fully established yet. So the crowd was, you know, a bit as a result, like crowd like Rhea, but like it was a bit kind of dead for it, and they worked hard, but you know, it was you know it was a match that sort of just ended, and yeah, then we move on to whatever next challenger, and hopefully it's built up properly. I don't think there'll be a challenger built up properly until whoever wins Royal Rumble.
That's what I was going to say. I think whoever wins the Rumble is going to challenge Rhea, and I don't think Rhea loses until WrestleMania.
And watch it be Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill, who they made this big deal out of, and much of, but not to get sidetracked. Austin, what were your thoughts on Rhea and Zoe?
I gotta be honest, I zoned out during this match, so I don't know.
I
like started watching it and I like zoned out for a minute and like got distracted, and next thing I knew she hit the Riptide and won. I completely zoned out on this match and I didn't bother to go back and watch it again. So I'm just being honest. I was like, Ripley's gonna win this match no matter what. I don't have a whole lot of investment in it, and it didn't seem like the crowd had much investment in it either, and I just kind of zoned out and just got to the main event. That was really it. So I apologize if that sounds short-sighted or whatever, but it is what it is. I just kind of zoned out. So
I'm kind of with you there, actually.
Yeah. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I zoned out.
I'll go back and watch if it's a match I think like is, you know, 50-50, but when it's something where I feel like there's a definite winner, it's like, I mean, kind of knew this was going to happen anyway, so I'm not going to go back.
Zoe Stark's finish is pretty cool. Like when she hits it, that, you know, the you know, the when she flips her over and does a kick, kind of like a go to sleep kind of thing. That's cool. But, you know, beyond that, it's just a match.
But, yeah, and then we get into the main event here, the men's war game, featuring the return, maybe, of Randy Orton. AEW, this is how you do it. But yeah, no, Team Cody or Team Seth, Team Babyface. We'll just call them Team Babyface. I don't really think there were team captains here, but Team Babyface going over on the Judgment Day, and I thought this was a great way to end the show, or sorry, almost end the show. We'll get to one more thing after this, but
it was like an epilogue.
Yeah,
because it literally the thing that happened after they put the little copyright thing on the screen too.
Right, it made you think. But before we get into that, no, I thought this was a solid main event. I thought everybody got their spots. There were moments where you felt like Judgment Day was in control. There were moments where, you know, the baby faces were in control despite being a man down. And then, you know, Randy Orton makes his triumphant return, and, you know, instead of rushing to the ring, he does kind of go a little slow, kind of working the crowd a little bit, taking the page from Jeff Hardy. Not as much, but just a little bit. And then here's what I guess you know, War Games doesn't start until everyone's in the ring.
That's a pet peeve of mine.
It's 5-on-5. There are 5 of you in the ring. There are 4 of them in the ring. Like, one guy could wait for Randy Orton, and everyone else can continue beating on the others. But no, let's all 5 stop and watch and wait, because that's wrestling.
No, but that's pet peeve of mine. To me, the match has started when 2 people start wrestling. Then the match has started. I don't know. I know you can say
Wikipedia is wrong. This match wasn't 34 minutes long.
Yeah, technically the match was like 5 minutes long, right?
Like Randy Orton.
If the bell doesn't ring till the last guy gets in the ring, then yeah, the match was 5 minutes, right? Or whatever.
So, but yeah, no. Randy Orton, he ends up showing up, and then Dominic goes after him, and instead of his team helping him, they watch Dominic kind of get destroyed by Randy Orton with his vintage moves and kind of hitting the stuff he's known for. And then everyone else gets involved after Dominic gets beat down, because who doesn't like to see Dominic get beaten down? Every crowd loves that.
I like how when they're waiting in the cage thing, you could barely see Dominic. Like, he was just sort of like behind everybody, kept right in the corner. And then there was obviously.
Is that the first time they've done the little cage thing in the entranceway?
I think that they did it they've done it a couple of times.
I think they've done it for most of the.
I didn't watch a lot of the NXT War Games, so I didn't know how they did that.
For I think pretty much all of the ones that they've done in WWE.
Okay.
All right. Before, weren't they just on the outside? And it was
because we even watched the '89 War Games on the Great American Bash, things like that, and they just kind of stand in their corners of the ring, on the outside and just wait to get in. Which is whatever. I mean, I guess theoretically they could go attack each other, before they get in there. So I guess it's not a bad thing to have them in little cages or whatever. That's fine. Yeah,
it reminds me of King of the Mountain match, when they have to go.
Yeah, right. The penalty box.
The penalty box or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, Randy Orton comes in, hits his moves, and then about 5 minutes later, the babyface team wins after a crossroads to Damian Priest. I did appreciate the spot where they threw JD McDonough off and Randy catches him with the RKO. Say what you want about JD McDonough, they're kind of they're treating him like they did Sami Zayn at the beginning of the Bloodline, but dude can go in the ring and he's taking some good spots.
Yeah, I'll say shout out to JD McDonough for willing to be. I mean, it's cool that they trust him enough to take the spot, and shout out to him for wanting to take that spot. Given that he's only been in the main roster for a few months. I mean, not that long, but yeah. It's
kind of that blow off with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, and then and he's he's real good, but and then I guess they wanted Cody to get pitted, but it was solid, but I like that spot. It's probably still not the best RKO with I think that still goes to the Evan Bourne one with the shooting star press.
Yeah,
catching but it's still pretty solid. Still pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, I think I'm more partial to the Seth Rollins one at WrestleMania. There's a tier list we could do. Let's tier rank RKOs out of nowhere. Solid main event. Austin, what were your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, no, it was a good solid main event. I didn't even really think about the angle until I started seeing the promos that Cody was doing about Dusty kind of starting the War Games thing, because he was in the very first one in '87. I didn't even really think about that angle, but that was a cool way for him to kind of be I'm gonna honor my dad by doing well in this match or whatever, honor his legacy by being a War Games guy and all that. So that made more sense about him being first and all that. So had I known about that, I might have picked Cody to go in first or something, to do the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, as kind of corny as the and predictable the Randy Orton thing was, it was we all know he's going to show up, but he did his thing, and it was he had been gone for a little while, so warranted the big entrance. Yeah, I always think it's weird when people just stop because of entrance music. It's why do you stop wrestling because of that? He hit his music, but he's not down in the ring yet. Yeah, keep fighting. Why should that stop everybody?
And what we didn't mention was that Priest was trying to cash in at this time.
Yeah, cash in. He's still not down in the ring yet. What's the holdup? Not you couldn't hit a move and get a 3 count.
It's not like people stop wrestling when there's music at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, does everybody stop? Unless it's if somebody returning in the Royal Rumble.
Like John Cena in 2008, which
right.
That actually makes a lot of sense because people legitimately didn't know.
I don't mind when it's in the Royal Rumble and they stop if it's somebody coming out that's a threat, and they prepare themselves, or something or whatever. But yeah,
you would be oh no, Santina Marella.
But when it stops pinfall attempts, that's weird. It's no, get the pinfall. What are you doing? Keep pinning the guy. That's silly. But whatever. Regardless of that, Randy Orton was ginormous. He was fucking jacked when he came out. My God,
that dude in shape.
holy shit, is he bigger than he's ever been in fucking last 10 years. Yeah, he was huge. He got a big pop. He looked good. He didn't look like he had lost a beat. And crowd was happy to see him. It was good back and forth. Everybody kind of got the spots and a little bit of shine that they needed to. I actually kind of thought they could have done the cash in, and it would have made sense. Again, the scenario I kind of laid out where I think he could have done it while his teammates were down, and amidst all the chaos, he could have cashed in and won it. I still think it would have made sense. But it is what it is. And overall the match was good. Yeah, an all-time War Games match, not really, but still a solid way to end the show. Yeah, I thought it was a good match with some really good storyline kind of stuff that they could set up for later. So yeah.
I still like how they're doing. Everybody hates Jey Uso because Randy Orton teased RKOing him.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I like the fact they're at least acknowledging past events. Like Drew McIntyre doesn't really care about teaming with Judgment Day. It's more just because I don't like Jey Uso and they screwed me over for the title. Okay, that makes sense if you actually remember. Yeah, he got screwed over by the Usos in his match with Roman, so that makes sense. Like that he would want to beat the shit out of this guy. And Randy Orton is not a big fan of Jey Uso either. So
you got taken out by Jey Uso.
They're acknowledging the fact that like Jey used to be a bad guy with this faction that screwed over a lot of people. So I like at least acknowledging past. It's kind of like how Richie, do you remember how occasionally when Test would encounter Stephanie McMahon in the back in like 2001 or 2002, they would acknowledge that like you're a bitch, but and you left me at the altar, so fuck you. But I'll help you out this one time because we have a common enemy, but still fuck you. They would at least acknowledge that there was a history there. I like the fact they're at least acknowledging past storylines and keeping that going. I mean, we didn't mention it very much, but even on the AEW thing, Omega teasing that he would V-trigger Jericho in that match, a little bit, because it's like, they're not exactly like the best of friends, you know what I mean? Like they had the Alpha Omega thing, for a while, where they're not biggest fans of each other, but they had a common enemy. So I like the fact that they're at least acknowledging past stuff, and it makes sense that they would, we have a common goal right now, but I might deal with you later, or something. Or might not be
and then on Raw, it was as long as you're out of the bloodline, we're good. And so now they're good. But we'll see. It's Randy Orton, so you never know.
It's Randy Orton, you never know. He could RKO him out of nowhere, and Jay could still it wouldn't necessarily be a turn. It would just be like, "Hey, I owed you one." You know what I mean, or something like that.
It's like Austin with the stunner. You're like,
it's like I owed you one, and I am who I am. Sometimes I'm gonna just we gotta get even. You know what I mean? So, and now we're back to square one.
He had a promo segment with Rhea Ripley, and I could have sworn Rhea Ripley was gonna eat an RKO, but.
I think she could. I think she would. Yeah,
I think she would. That's why I was expecting that.
I wouldn't be shocked if she's in the men's Royal Rumble. I think that they always do that with bigger, obviously more jacked.
They did it with Nia. They did it with Nia that one year, right?
Beth Phoenix and
Phoenix. Yeah, so she could be a surprise entrance.
So they do it with more jacked women. So I think they could do that. I don't know if you saw it online, but it was kind of a cool moment, cool fan moment where. I think Finn Balor's going to the back. I think he sees this girl holding a sign that says "Rip my sign," and so he points to JD McDonough, and JD McDonough just does the Hulk Hogan thing. It was kind of cool. It was a cool moment for her. They just ripped the sign. But yeah, it's just
I saw that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, but again, I thought solid match. Yeah, nothing. I wouldn't say anything about, but it furthers some storyline. Going forward, I think one of the survivors Drew and Jey Uso fight at WrestleMania. I don't know. Actually, no. Well, I guess if not, I guess we're probably going to do Jay and Jimmy at WrestleMania, aren't they? I don't know if they're still going that. Maybe.
I think that's the plan, and it has to be. I mean, they keep them apart, and then I think they want to face each other at WrestleMania.
It's why I think you could have done. Had you done the Damian cash in, how him and Drew had that really long stare down, before they went to the cage. Like you could have done like Damian and Drew at WrestleMania or something, like for that title. Like I feel like there's something there where like Drew could still like Damian could still become a bad guy, but Drew could, the crowd still likes him, and like I think you could they're definitely teasing something there.
Damian goes to cash in and you're like, oh well, he's definitely going to now, and then Drew just kicks him. I don't know, or just like
something.
This is mine, but I don't know. Further storylines, it was a good match, but I think it overshadowed. I think what happened next overshadowed.
I don't know. That was the end of the show. We saw the team with their hands in the air, then the copyright thing came on, and show ended. Right?
Right.
You're talking about hell freezing over and CM Punk returning to WWE for the first time in almost 10 years.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Crowd popped. I think some were expecting it, some weren't. It was one of those where I was like, oh, is it or isn't it? No, it's not. No, it happened. And kudos to the commentary team. Like the commentary team was quiet. Like it was actually like the show was
just a moment. They wrap up the show,
just a moment.
I think that works better when they wrap up the show, or if something really, some really bad beatdown happens or a bad heel turn happens. It just I think sometimes they say it best when they say, not just steal from a song, but they say it best when they say nothing at all. So I like that when because it's like the graphics of the shows come up. You're not expecting anything else to happen, so it makes sense.
I always find it weird when JBL used to do this a lot. When somebody would make a surprise return and they immediately had their stats ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like somebody makes a surprise return and they immediately go, the whatever time heavyweight champion, the whatever time. It's almost like you had notes in front of you ready to go for this person making their completely surprised and unexpected return. Like if they come out and Michael Cole's immediately like, oh my God, the 3-time whatever champion.
He once lasted 33 minutes.
It's okay. He looked up his Wikipedia real quick and got his title stats.
But it makes sense for them to be quiet, especially after the graphic, because you just vision them like, okay, we've done our job. We'll put our headphones. We'll take our headphones off, and then this happens. So I'm like, oh yeah, all right. But so again, I thought some of the rumors were very. I thought the links people were trying to make were very tenuous. And I'm like, he's out. I heard some ridiculous things, or like, for a while, like Nakamura has been saying, about this guy, and
then that's the first feud,
and about this guy, right? And and people are like, well, like he's been calling out this guy, and look, Nakamura wears red, which is like Coke, and CM Punk is Pepsi. And I'm like, he always wears red. That's what a stupid league. That's his ring gear. He always wears that. And so and there was other things to say, but then I think the thing that got me was when I'm like, hang on here, Living Color released like a remix, like the day remaster, like the day before. I'm like, that's interesting timing. But
apparently they did like sneak him in the back door. Like not many people knew about it other than like Triple H, maybe one or two other people. They did like the full surprise, didn't tell everybody. I know people were like speculating about the Seth Rollins thing, but it was like
that's an angle.
No, it was like it's totally an angle, because otherwise, why would, of all people, Michael Cole be holding him back? Like, get out of here. Corey Graves, like, come on. Like, he could easily, get past them if he wanted to actually do something. But no, it's like, well, it makes sense. There's a lot of guys there, Mike Orton, like Rollins or whatever, who were around still when CM Punk was around. So yeah, they might still have some leftover, history with them, and they could fully acknowledge each of their histories with Punk, and bring up some old wounds, you know what I mean, or whatever, or fully acknowledge some things. So yeah, because there's definitely dudes who were there when he was around. I mean, there are new guys that aren't, which is fine, and they're encountering a new guy. But there's people. Cody Rhodes was around when he was around. All those guys were. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely do something with that.
I guess we could start the speculation, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not saying that. Wouldn't be shocked if Punk wins the Rumble, and we get Punk in Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
I still want Gunther to win the Rumble. I think you give Punk a major singles match at the Rumble. Yeah. I don't think you put. I don't know. I don't know if
I think they're going that direction already. That's all. I think they're going. Hey, they're giving him. I think they're going to give Punk the title very quickly. I don't know if I agree with him.
I mean, Rhodes is already in the Rumble. He's already declared 2 months.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think let's just say at bare minimum, it made predicting the Rumble way harder now. Now that he's back, who's actually going to win it?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I guess selfishly, I still want Gunther to win.
Yeah,
and he could, but
I don't need him to because I want him and Dragunov to have a WrestleMania match and tear the fucking house down somehow, and just have a Intercontinental title match where they bring the fucking house down for 25 minutes. So that's all I want. So that doesn't have anything to do with the Rumble. He could
right.
be in. Yeah. You could have Dragunov debut at the fucking Rumble and have a square off with Gunther and build their match at Mania. That's what I would want, and have the whole separate angle and a thing that has nothing to do with them winning it. That's what I would do. Personally.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea, but and that's probably preferably the idea that where I think they. I mean, I'm not sure where they think they're going, but it wouldn't shock me if Gable beats them as well, and they might turn back to that storyline. But I don't know.
I don't know who's going to beat Gunther. I don't know. And then here's the thing: do you keep Punk out of the ring until the Royal Rumble? Do you save his first match back for a pay-per-view, or do you build it up and like?
I think you don't need him to be in a match until the Rumble.
I don't think you play on TV.
Yeah. I mean, he could be on TV cutting promos, setting up storylines, having encounters with people. You don't need him to wrestle. He's one of those guys who doesn't need to wrestle all the time. He could just wrestle on pay-per-views,
Yeah.
It
feels a little early if they're going to do. I don't know. 2 months. I guess it'll. I
yeah. But I don't know. Unless they're planting the seeds for something down the line later, but I feel like it's.
I don't know. There's so many things going on right now. It seems less and less likely that Cody's going to finish his story at WrestleMania.
I know, I think there's things getting in the way of that because
there's a whole lot of things going on right now that I don't know what the hell the WrestleMania card is going to look like.
There's rumors of The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and then there's the rumors of Punk coming back, maybe,
Punk and Roman, what the hell's who knows? Yeah, what the hell's going on now? I don't know where they're going. We'll see. I mean, we'll maybe get more of an idea after the Rumble happens, of where they might go, and maybe even Elimination Chamber as well, because we'll have that in between, right? So, the Australia one, right? Yeah. So, So, I mean, we'll know a little bit after the Rumble, maybe what direction they might go. But I think right now, I don't know. There's so many different potential things going on. I don't know what the WrestleMania card is going to look like at this point. I don't think anybody knows what they got going on.
Up in the air now.
Yeah, it's because Punk threw a whole wrench in, the whole mix, and now nobody knows what the hell's going on. And you still have The Rock potentially having a match or something, out there on the horizon. Maybe that's not confirmed, but who knows? It's always there. Who the fuck knows? John Cena's still around. He could have a match.
Let's do Punk versus Cena one more time. They haven't had a WrestleMania match yet.
Sure.
That could be good.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm very curious because Punk's obviously a big name. He's going to be in a high-profile match. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the main events. Maybe he turns heel before and tries to call out Stone Cold, and we get the Stone Cold match we never got. No hold barred.
About 10 years too late.
Yeah, 10 years too late for when we wanted to see it. Yeah, right. To when they had their face-off backstage or whatever, right? 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll finally get that Stone Cold Brock Lesnar match, at WrestleMania that we never got 20 years ago.
And Brock just pins him clean.
Pins him in 30 seconds with the F5. That's how it went.
I mean, if they do decide to go, Punk and Roman, I'm just looking forward to that for the promos between Punk and Heyman alone. But
because there's a history there too with
Heyman alone.
Heyman used to manage Punk, right? So there's a history there that they could roll with. Yeah, for sure. So who knows?
I did like. I don't know if you saw this. I don't like giving him. Attention, but it is funny. Ryback said if Punk returned he'd retire. And then he backtracked and he said, "Oh no, I meant if Punk returned to AEW."
Obviously, I meant.
Obviously, because yeah, and then everybody was clowning him on Twitter. Yeah, I saw that too.
It's like, but he hasn't. I just feel like he's just being a troll because he hasn't actually bothered to try and wrestle. I don't think I've seen his name on any wrestling thing.
No, he has some like product he's promoting, like some energy or some pre-workout or some shit he has like right now or something, like some product he shows on Twitter now or some vitamin or something. I don't know what it is, some workout thing.
Yeah.
He blocked me on Twitter because I asked him how retired.
Does he have?
I'm sure he's blocked a whole bunch of people that will be clowning for next week, going, "Hey, did you retire yet? Have you retired yet?" Hey, when you retire? Yeah, he's going to be blocking a whole bunch of people.
Right. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do with Punk going forward, leading into the Royal Rumble. But so
I think the next, and I know you're wrapping up. I just think the next 3 or 4 months are going to be interesting. The whole road to WrestleMania just got way more interesting as far as where they're going to go with all these storylines. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be waiting to see, because we have 3 pay-per-views, but we don't know what the setups are going to be, what the storylines are going to be, who's going to face off with who. There's a lot of different train tracks they could go to. Yeah, a lot of different directions. So we'll see what happens.
And also, I didn't foresee this at the start of the year, but at the moment, I'll just give it away. If we're doing our year-end predictions, the promotion of the year, I think it's WWE.
It might be WWE. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Punk could have Return of the Year twice
for both companies.
We could put Edge on there 4 times for all of his returns.
Yeah, right.
In 2 companies as well.
Yeah. And again, what year is this? Edge returns. Randy Orton returns. CM Punk returns. What year are we again? 2012? 2013?
In AEW, we're getting
John Cena. What year is this?
In AEW, we're getting Edge versus Christian.
Edge versus Christian, probably in 2024. Yeah, what year is it?
We're getting it. We're actually, because I know you don't follow week to week, Austin. We're actually
getting Montreal
in Montreal next week for the TNT title.
Really?
Yeah, okay. On free TV.
They're giving that away on free TV.
I know. I would have said.
Part of me is thinking that it's going to be a screwy finish.
It'll be a screwy finish, but why would you give that away at all?
Because it's in Canada.
Yeah, but
that's my only reason. Is probably because it's in Canada and
Booker of the Year, Tony Khan. Am I right? Yeah. Right. I kind of feel like Triple H's Booker of the Year, to be honest. But okay.
Did you hear Luchasaurus has a new name?
What's his new name?
He's now Killswitch.
Killswitch.
Oh my god, that's dumb.
Based on his finish, Christian's finishing.
And apparently Nick Wayne's mom is getting involved now. Watching Paratoad in front of her by Adam Copeland.
I do like how they call it patriarchy. That's the only thing. That's funny.
Yeah. So there was a moment I think before it got changed back. If you went to Nick Wayne's Wikipedia page, it put Christian Cage as his father.
Somebody did that in the middle of the night. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the patriarchy, because what AEW doesn't have enough of is factions.
Right.
We need another faction.
Did you?
I think we're getting the Luchasaurus turn on him soon.
Yeah, we'll get it soon. Did you see that? Ric Flair got in trouble for being Ric Flair.
I saw that he was taking promo for Rampage.
They're going to edit out, and they might edit it out of the broadcast, but like his line. But he says, he invited anyone from 18 to 30 hot women in the crowd, married or unmarried.
No boyfriends, no husbands.
No boyfriends, no husbands. That's what he said.
That's just Ric Flair being Ric Flair, though.
I know.
He used to tell little girls that he used to sleep with their moms in the crowd. Your mother wrote Space Mountain 20 years ago. I feel like that's no worse than that.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna hire Ric Flair, you're gonna get Ric Flair.
You're gonna get Ric Flair. I don't know what you expected.
85 years old.
Yeah, he's gonna be the ladies' man, wheel a deal, and son of a gun. No matter what age he is. Yeah. I don't know.
So
give him a live mic, and that's what he's gonna do.
Uh-huh. I'll go buy some Woo Energy.
That's planted all over the fucking show now.
Of course it is, because that's the deal they made, is like it has to be in the locker room, at ringside, on the announce table. It's Woo Energy.
Have you tried it?
No, because it's not. I don't think it's sold in stores. I don't know. Like I don't know where you.
I don't know where
you get Woo Energy. Gas stations. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, you think in North Carolina they'd sell it all over the place.
I haven't looked at the gas stations lately, so I don't know. Maybe it's a 7-Eleven exclusive or something. Who knows? I don't know. I have to look up where to get Woo Energy. It's not at my grocery store. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna hit quite like. Was it the?
I don't want to drink a mushroom elixir though, so I'm not terribly excited to try Woo Energy. I don't want to drink a mushroom beverage, so
yeah, mushroom and like yeah.
There's like weird combinations that I'm not exactly excited to. None of them sounded good, so yeah.
I don't think it's gonna have the same effect as like Prime.
No, Prime actually tastes good. I like Prime Energy. But I'm fine with again, that's the different thing where I'm fine with Logan Paul because he's playing a douchey heel, constantly drinking his own beverage on television or shilling his own beverage, or somebody hands him one to drink in the middle of the match because he's a douchey heel. So that's fine. Like when Ric Flair's doing it, it just seems kind of hacky and weird.
And he's just being kind of self.
Right. Yeah, Logan Paul's a little fucking douchebag anyway, so who cares? That's what he would do. Those pictures that he took with the United States title were fucking perfect. Exactly what he needed to do. That was great. So it's exactly what I would expect him to do. Take a shower with it, sleep with it, work out with it. That's exactly what he should have done. That was great.
And hopefully, I'm hoping that. I mean, I don't know what his opponents be, but it would be cool if it was like maybe someone like LA Knight or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that feud would be kind of cool. Just the back and forth.
Some good promos, some good promos back and forth. Yeah.
I mean, that's the first challenger. No, I don't think LA Knight lose 2 high-profile matches back to back. But before we get too far, Survivor Series. I thought from start to finish, I thought it was decent. I'd go a 7 to 7.5. I think nothing outstanding in the ring, but nothing I wouldn't call any of the matches bad. So I'd go a 7, 7.5. And then the Punk return kind of brings it up a little bit too, probably to that 7.5. Austin.
I would probably normally go about 6.5, but maybe a 7 because of the Punk return. Maybe only because I didn't think any of the matches were real standout ones that I'm going to remember 2 weeks from now. A couple weeks from now, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, there was nothing that I would go back and watch again, as opposed to the AEW show. I'm probably going to go back at the end of the year and watch Swerve and Adam Page again. Maybe even a couple of matches on that show I might go back and watch again, just to see. But I can't see myself going back to watch any of these matches or anything like that. Again, I think most of them kind of served mostly storyline purposes. Yeah, I mean nothing was horrible or anything like that. I think the Gunther Miz booking and that match brought it down a little bit for me. Had that match been a full on massacre, I would have actually probably given the show another half a point for it.
What it should have been like? You remember in No Mercy 2000 when it was Austin and Rikishi, and Austin just beat the shit out of
him? Oh, yeah, but then that one had a bad finish, though, where he got arrested in a no-holds-barred match.
I know, but it should have been like that, but just a bad, and then he get hit with it.
That's what I'm saying. That would have been better for the story that they were trying to tell. You could have Miz prop himself up as this guy, but be like, no, that was you 10 years ago. That's not you now. I'm the new guy now, and I beat the hell out of you. That's what it should have been. Had they done a story like that, I thought it would have been great, and that could have fed into building the Miz back up, and then he could have a high-profile match down the line, something like that. So, I don't know. Yeah, again, a little bit of weird booking here and there. I thought Damage Control should have won that War Games match. I think you could have had them win the match and it would have been perfectly fine. It wouldn't have hurt anybody else on the other side, I don't think. So a little wonky booking as well. But the difference is there wasn't any big standout matches to me that I'm going to go back and watch again. So it's kind of a 6.5 for me, honestly.
Richie?
I'm in the middle of you guys. I'll say 7. I think it's yeah, it was solid. I think the pump bumped up a little bit. But yeah, there was nothing like full standout. I like the women's war games, but yeah, I actually think there's been better women's war games on NXT. But yeah, like it's nothing too bad. I think Rhea and Zoe could have been better had they had better storyline focus. It just feels like, yeah, like, oh, here's your next challenger. We'll build it up in a week. So I want them to be more focused on the women's title. And yeah, like I understand, like Rhea's an important part of Judgment Day. I'm glad they're doing they're a good job at that, making her an important character and a big star. But I also want her to be a dominant women's champion, which I don't think they're focusing on. So yeah, if they get fixed, if it was that going in and that they had a good match, I think the crowd would be more invested, and I'd probably bump it up a bit. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, I would say it's 7.
All right. So that's gonna do it. Kind of a double review here: a Full Gear and Survivor Series. A good 2 weekends in a row of wrestling here. I think a good couple weeks. I think we've gotten some really solid stuff, even on TV. So yeah, interested to see how each company kind of ends the year here, and lead into the new year. Richie, what do you got going on between now and the next time the Lonely Marks meet?
Oh man, I got to check the schedule, man. I've been really busy doing other stuff, and then so I've had to juggle things around. But yeah, I mean, like I know I heard that I heard it got flagged because Jordan had clips, but you could see my picks on if it gets put up there, you can see my picks on.
He's gonna edit those out and re-upload it. So yeah, I mean, he played some really long clips. If I had pulled some, I would have pulled some really quick, like 10, 20-second things that don't get flagged. But like I do on when I run the streams, I would have pulled some quicker clips that don't get flagged.
Yeah.
It's when you start playing 90-second clips, that's when you get flagged. Yeah.
But
you ended up having 4 out of the 8 of your picks. Yeah,
I know. I was like, oh, pretty good. I thought maybe some of them would get roasted, but
you could have sold. You've been there to sell them harder than I think that Brian did. We all kind of sold them for you.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool that I got a row. But yeah. So I mean, if they get so old, you'd see that. But yeah, I couldn't get the last minute. But yeah. But yeah, I do have something like Battleground thing coming like at some point apparently. Maybe against.
I've got 2 matches in the can that still aren't out yet. So yeah.
I think Richie and I have one that might need to be recorded soon, possibly against each other.
And yeah, that'd be fun. And yeah, I think that I've got like a singles match, I think, with Will Cohen coming up soon as well. On there will be on John Mars' channel, Bihara. I just called it a teams match. I think it's up now on there, Bihara. It was me. It was me and Malcolm versus Chad and Gary, and then I did I did Lights Out trivia as well, where it was me and Malcolm versus Tato and Jay Burns. So yeah, check those out. Yeah.
All right, Pez.
Yeah, no, I actually have a fairly light week next week, which will be refreshing because I've done. This is about my 8th or 9th of 10 shows in a row that I'm working on right now, 10 nights in a row. So I actually have a fairly light week because I'm not going to be doing the musicals tournament. So next week, which is next Tuesday. So I'll be sitting that one out. Mm-hmm. And then we don't have like Wheel of Movies or Seen and Heard next week. So that'll be, a pretty light week. So just in the immediate future, tournament fights tomorrow night is movies about somebody's job or workplace. So
I'm going to be on that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that'll be a good one. Yeah, no, we'll be doing that one, and there's some good movies in there, so that should be fun. And then Saturday afternoon, we'll actually be going in the afternoon Wheel of Movies for Casablanca for Chris Scott's birthday. So which I have to rewatch tomorrow night for that. But yeah, we'll be doing that, and then we'll be getting to Thanksgiving 3 on Saturday night, which we had to delay for a couple personal reasons, but that's coming this Saturday. That might be my new worst movie I've ever seen. Honestly, it's about 10 times worse than the original Thanksgiving. I didn't think it was possible, but Thanksgiving 3 is way worse.
Wow, okay.
It makes the first Thanksgiving look like a very competent movie. I don't know how that was possible, but yeah, it's literally just random scenes of dudes playing with puppets. It's not fucking real. I don't know how it can be worse. It's way worse. At least the first one has somewhat of a plot. This one doesn't even have a plot. It's really bad. I swear, I dare Richie. I dare you to watch it and try to not turn it off within 30 minutes. It's impossible. So,
you've been dared.
Yeah, you've been dared. I dare you to try. But yeah, it's whatever. So, and then in the distant future, Alex should be hosting on December 10th the Seen and Heard exhibition for the Christmas movie and Christmas adjacent movie Seen and Heard. So that should be fun. Nice. So I pulled and uploaded about 25 or so clips so far. So yeah, I shouldn't have any problems there. We'll start on time. We'll do the thing, and yeah,
I'll have to play along with that one and see how I do.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do straight up Christmas movies and some of those adjacent ones that just sort of happen to take place in the background. So it could be some regular movies where the clips I'm playing have nothing to do with Christmas. So that'll be fun too. Yeah.
No, that should be fun. Yeah, I don't really have much going. I'll be co-hosting that musicals one. So got the list together. Just need to make the bracket.
I let Jacob take the reins on that because I don't want to be on the episode and be like the downer guy that's just like, whatever, I don't care about this match. Get somebody who's enthusiastic about that. You know,
it's going to be mostly live action. I did include a few animated ones, but mostly live action.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
All right, let's start the show.
Actually,
so guys, full gear, am I right?
Real quick, since you're here,
I'm here.
In about 90 seconds.
Sure.
Your thoughts on both shows.
I was gonna give him a shot for each show.
Okay.
But I like the way you think, Pez. 90 seconds for both shows. Go.
Give me a second. Hold on.
I'll give you 90.
Okay, I got this.
I have to wait for you again. No, that's all right.
All right, I got this. Full gear. Jay Lethal Eddie should have been for the pay-per-view, but I don't know what they're going to do for the pay-per-view because Eddie's in that tournament, so that pay-per-view is going to be really weird for Ring of Honor. MJF still has the tag titles. That's weird, but cool. 6-man was fun. Cassidy Moxley, it was cool. I'm really glad Toni Storm has the title. She's awesome. I hope she has the title for a little while now. I'm surprised Starks and Bill still have the titles, but I don't hate it. I was happy Julia Hart got it. I think she's been doing pretty good. So I think a couple of us called that one. Texas Death, I think a lot of fun. I was down for it here, kind of, the show stealer of the night in a way here. Hard to follow up with the tag match, but they did a pretty decent job here. I think we all kind of made fun of the main event, the ones that watch it live together. Just a weird way they went about it, unnecessary to go put the guy with the cast on because the other guy's too hurt. What? Match itself was just fine, but a very forgettable kind of main event. I just felt like it was just done a straightforward main event. As for Survivor Series, fun War Games matches, nothing too crazy, but still pretty fun. Lived up to the experience. Glad for Zoe Stark kind of getting her first shot at a title there. Santos and Dragon Lee on pay-per-views, not a bad thing. And hey, even the Miz decided to have a decent match here. I don't know if they're going to do it again or not. But
someone disagrees with you.
No, I shit on that match because it should have been a fucking massacre. But okay,
no, not on pay-per-view. No, and at least they built. And again, every once in a while, you need to remind people that the Miz is not just a piece of shit. And this reminding people that the Miz can actually have a.
I completely disagree with that. Go back and my reasoning of what they should have done in this match. It should have been a massacre. It should have been established that Gunther is now the top of the matter, and the Miz is not the Miz of 10 years ago. And you can build him up as a babyface and have him reestablish himself as that guy, not come out as that guy against the top guy right now.
It's not like Miz had the most banger of a match. It's a 9-minute match. So no, I don't think you want to squash on pay-per-view and build him up. You'd be burying him too much for him to build out of. That was the whole point. I feel
he shouldn't be a babyface in the first place. But if you're going to do that, then let's build him back up to the Miz babyface.
They did rush.
Let's give the crowd a reason to do that, and instead make it look like the Miz has lost his step because he's not the Miz that he was 10 years ago. Have the new guy beat the shit out of him, and then you can do that.
They did that already. You're not going to do a squash on a pay-per-view. Don't even bother.
Sure you can. Sure you can.
Yeah, you really shouldn't. No, not especially when there's only like 4 or 5 matches anyway. So I would have been disappointed if it was just.
I'm not saying it should have been a 3-minute squash. I'm saying it could have been a 10-minute squash.
That doesn't make sense. That's not a squash then.
All right, and that's time. Let's go to
Wait,
our judges.
Phil return. I want to talk about Phil.
And your closing argument, 60 seconds go.
I'm happy Phil's back here. I think there's a lot of differences between AEW and WWE, so I'm excited to see where we're gonna go with Pepsi Phil.
We all agreed that we have no idea where all the storylines and what the cards are looking like for the next 3 months in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
No, especially now.
Everything has changed. There's a big discussion on Busted Open today with Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, and LaGreca. I think you could pretty easily go, Punk and Rollins and keep Roman and Cody, but who knows? I mean, you also have no idea if The Rock's involved. You have no idea. Randy Orton's back now, even that's a player. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you could do.
Yeah, my hopes of Gunther winning the Royal Rumble seem to be dwindling.
I mean, yeah, Gunther's still a very valuable player. Yeah, what do you do with him? Give him some juicy in Mania. Yeah.
Well, now that I looked it up, he's 83 days away from becoming like the overall longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, Pedro Morales is at 619 combined.
So if he's 83, so he'll do it by Mania then.
Yeah.
Do a triple threat. Do Gunther, Ivar, and Bronson Reed. Give me some meat.
No. Well, we've got been seeing things like that recently.
My proposal is Dragunov makes his debut at the Rumble. They have their face-off, and they have a banger 25-minute match at Mania. That's my proposal.
Yeah, we've been saying for a while. Dragunov's a good choice. I'd be down for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have a debut at the Rumble.
Right, so they could go Gable again. So they would build that up.
It's just the only problem is you did it already, so that's not a Mania match. Like if that's the guy who takes it off of him at Chamber maybe, but just at this point, just save it till Mania. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, thanks for being here.
This is great. Can I do this every week? Just chime in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think the way they're booking the champions, it's all like.
If you do that next week, it's just going to be me and Richie talking for an hour and a half, and then you pop in there for 5 minutes. So that's just
hey everybody.
Yeah,
that's true because I will be taking the month of December off. I'm kind of not hosting anything, kind of really not appearing on. I'm doing the musicals tournament kind of as a favorite to Austin because I know he's not really into them.
I'm tagging out for that. I'll tag out for Lonely Marks. You tag in for tournament fights for a night, and we'll tag out. Yeah,
so I'll be on that one, and then I will be. It's not till I believe it might be the 12th. Because we had to switch some things around, but we'll be doing a tier ranker of the best bands. According to
that's like the 15th or something.
I'll be on that
like
one.
That. Yeah, something
like that. We talked because I'm not available the 15th, so I think he's trying to switch.
Just
for O-Town.
O-Town.
98 degrees.
According to Rolling Stones, was O-Town on that one?
Imagine the Rolling Stones not being on the Rolling Stones list.
Yeah.
And yes, I will to a degree probably doing the same thing as well. Just obviously my thing's just kind of weird at the moment. So I thought the worst case scenario I'd miss half the show, not the entire show tonight. And then obviously didn't pan out.
And it's all good with me and Austin will hold the fort at least till January. We'll get there. We'll just watch the paper.
We'll just watch some TV shows and old retro shit, and we'll just have some fun. Yeah, if we have to, no big deal. So we still got to talk about what Richie wants to do next week. 'Cause he's owed one from AEW. So we'll talk
about the.
I believe that you won that. By the way, Jake, I believe you won Survivor Series.
Yeah, I should have something to do. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I won Survivor. I won this week. Oh, sweet.
I think so.
No, I believe. Sorry,
was it Austin?
It was Austin because.
It was Austin. Yeah,
the three of us, we all tied on predictions, and so our tiebreaker was who's going to enter the men's war game first, and Austin had Finn, and unfortunately, the rest of us did not. So we all.
We already decided since Jacob's not here anyways, and there's no other AEW show even pay-per-view till the end of December, we'll each just have a week to just do something we want to do. So Richie will do something next week, I'll do something the week after. JPO, you can pick something the week after that. We'll just all do something.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, can I do my women's card?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can run this. I can run through this very quickly. So let's open up with Stephanie McMahon versus Eva Marie. That's going to be a banger.
Who have you got? Who have you got going over? Do you have that?
I mean, Stephanie's going to go over. You know, she's helping fund this.
Ooh.
Then you have the barn burner of Santina versus Major Guns.
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Does Eva Marie have a wardrobe malfunction
Of course.
during the match? Okay.
That's in the first 30 seconds.
Does Eva Marie even show up?
No, let's save some time. You're right. Let's save some time. Okay, victory. Santina Morella versus Major Guns. Yeah, that's a banger. Let's put Santina over just to keep the anger going. Oksana and Jenna Maraska in a tag team match against Cameron and Snooki, where Snooki and Jenna never tag in. You gotta wait not to have Jenna in the match. And Oksana goes over because I don't like Cameron as a person, but I like Oksana as a person. Rebel versus Velvet Sky. This is like a dream GNA match from 2010, right? So we'll do that. Put Rebel over. She's funny. Nia Jax versus Maria Menounos. You'll never see Maria.
So no more Nuvi.
No more Nuvi.
Maria's gonna go to the hospital.
Nia's gonna kill her.
But Nuvi's gonna get there early.
Yeah.
And, you know what we haven't seen in a while, guys? A 6-way Hell in a Cell match. So I got a 6-way Hell in a Cell. Charmel, Judy Bagwell, Bertha Faye, Spice, Nicole Bass, and Tori. And Charmel, she's funny. She can win. Booker T can help her. And this match actually I think would be really good because you never gave. Obviously, we have dead people on this thing, so I'm going with classic Mae Young from like the '80s versus my girl Dream Girl Ellie. We're gonna end it strong. Ellie over for the RPW title.
At least you took your card seriously.
I would be morbidly curious to watch that Hell in a Cell match. I will say that. Yeah.
WWE. Are you gonna call it WWE Evolution too?
Judy Bagwell does the Rikishi spot.
I was gonna say Judy Bagwell is the odd person out that has to take the big bump off the cell.
And doing truck of hay.
Yeah.
It's not hay. It's panes of glass. We're changing it up.
Okay.
Oh, wow. You're gonna try to kill Judy Bagwell. Okay. All right.
She already did.
Is she?
Yeah.
Maria Menounos got over a brain tumor or some shit, and you're gonna put her in there and Nia Jax. She's gonna die again.
Sorry, Maria.
Jesus.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Why do you hate it?
No.
Yeah.
I watched Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies on Amazon last night too.
I saw that when it came out. Holy shit! I rented that from Redbox DVD when it came out. Holy shit! That movie.
You watched some classics recently, then. You watched Thanksgiving and that.
I did.
Do you do a double feature?
You know, Thanksgiving has its moments.
Bro, I was so funny enough. Right as we were about to go, I was talking about Thanksgiving because we're watching. Me and Wolfman are doing Thanksgiving 3 as our drinking game.
I saw that.
Holy shit! Is that movie like a million times worse than Thanksgiving? Like I didn't think it was possible, but it's like not even a movie. It's like
that's great.
It's my new worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
I do love the fact that though. Am I right? There's no Thanksgiving 2.
No, that's just good.
Well, that's because in Thanksgiving 3, the part of the storyline, so to speak, is that Thanksgiving 2 came out, but they're like burning all the copies or something like that. It's really weird. Yeah,
I love it. I kind of like that.
It's not as good as it sounds.
Thanksgiving? How bad?
I'll give you that credit.
Thanksgiving 2, if that's the one they were burning.
Yeah, it should be burning Thanksgiving 3 because that movie's fucking terrible.
But JPO, you got anything else going on in the near future?
Yeah, I'm gonna be hanging out with Tugboat, the Shockmaster on Sunday over at the South Florida Comic Con. So come visit us.
Yeah.
We're having a whole RPW event as well as you meet him. You can also meet Tom McLaughlin, the director of the best Friday the 13th movie, Part 6.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah,
he'll be there as well. Yeah, I'm thinking about bringing.
That's a good horror movie. Jason Lives.
Yeah, and other things. I'm still doing stuff on the Periscope. Like I said, it's a slow month. So maybe it's the next month or so, but we'll be getting back into it at some point.
Yeah.
Very nice. So yeah, no, this was fun discussion. Glad you were able to join us, even if it was just for a few minutes, JPO. So
Quick cameo.
yeah. Check out everything else going on here on the Movie Hero Network. We've got something almost every night. It feels like between the Lonely Marks, tournament fights, tier ranker fights. We got recast now, Wheel of Movies, Seen and Heard. Got a big free for all coming up soon. So yeah, lots of stuff to tune into. So hit that subscribe, like, share, hit the bell so you're notified when we go live. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching. So for JPO, for Richie, for Austin, I have been Jacob. This has been the Lonely Marks, and we will see you next time.